So, I have completed the other half of Emily in Paris, and here is a mosh posh of my final thoughts. It is going to be really chaotic because I have no notes, so this is just right from my head to my phone to the YouTubes. Alright, so, also, isn't this so cute? I like how I do my hair today. This is in Unready with me. So, if you are just now tuning in, this is your first time seeing me. My name is Charlize, your Liberian American princess. And in my first installment, you were seeing me get ready for work. This is now at the tail end of my week, and you are now seeing me get unready. And I also have an Emily in Paris candle from the collab that they did with Bath and Body Works. Yeah, it's cute. So I think what's the most important thing to start with is where we ended off at from my memory. That's how we're gonna do things and see where we land. And that's basically with Emily finding out that her bestie was hooking up with her ex behind her back. And everything that I said about them not pushing it under the rug, I immediately take back, because Emily's attitude towards the whole thing is she says, "You know I would be happy for you, right?" Which is the weirdest and most not normal reaction that any other human being in the real world would have to a situation like that. And this is where I get annoyed with TV and film series, and where I have to lean back to my experiences with shows that I would watch growing up and where they would get weird to me, because this is where it feels like lazy TV writing. It feels like lazy TV writing to me. It truly does. So, growing up, shows like Riverdale and Gossip Girl, name a show in the comments that you can also think of, Degrassi in the comments that you can think of, where they would constantly have people that were in other relationships being with other people within the friend group. Secret Life of the American Teenager, that was another one. It was lazy TV writing to me, where it was like they didn't feel like giving side characters a real, like, meaningful love interest. So like they didn't feel like writing like a whole other character, but they still wanted like another love interest. So instead of writing up a new character, they were just being too lazy, and they would just like, well, let's just write them in a situation with somebody that's already a written character in the series. And I just find that to be like lazy TV writing to me, because to the writers, to the producers, it's cheaper costs, it's less time on their hands. They don't have to pay another actor to do it. They don't have to come up with another person. It's less work for them, and it's less money for them, and it's lazy to me. And that's how we end up with the situation where Alfie and Mindy have no rhyme or reason to be doing what they were doing together. Like, that made no sense. Like, because literally, how did we get here? Why are we here? Why is this happening? It makes no sense. Like, and yet here we are. And we shouldn't be. Like, it was literally a whole mess. And it is. Anyways, child. So, that's happening. And you got another situation throughout the season that was bothersome for me, which you see this happening, Emily with Mindy and with her boss, where it's like these strong, hardworking women are fighting to have it all, that are fighting to have that like love and work balance, and are like trying to like have it all in that way. And you see that battle happening for them, and it's a real conversation that's still ongoing, and that you see happening in real life too, with like articles coming out that have gone viral, where it's like, is having a boyfriend is having a boyfriend embarrassing? That's what the article was called that went viral recently on Teen Vogue, where it's just kind of like you have women prioritizing themselves and their friendships and their female relationships platonically, as well as themselves, but also wanting to find meaningful partnerships and romantic relationships and what that balance looks like in the real world. And so that's what Emily in Paris, the synopsis of what this show is all about. Romance is all about Emily discovering that for herself. That's what a microcosm of this show is all about. And so you're seeing that happen for her in real time, and to see that happen now for her boss and the extent of what's going on with her, and then also now with Mindy and everything going on now with Emily, and Emily having to choose between basically Italy or France. And I think that she made her choice, and if you ask me, she made the right one. But I'm gonna go take my shower and I'll get into that. So, what was I getting to? Emily and her story. Basically, I think that everything going on with her at the beginning of the season and Gabriel's storyline, people forget, I think just because it happened so early in the season, that Gabriel went to Italy to go after her. And I mean, like, clearly the man like wants her, loves her, cherishes her. And I feel like the writers always intended for like them to still be endgame, because the show after all is still called Emily in Paris, and they were still hinting at little nuggets at the beginning of the season with like the boss giving that line about the whole like maybe she just has to live a little and then she'll still land with you, like something along the lines of that. If I can find the clip, I'll put it here. But
Mais l'amour est patient. Si vous êtes faits l'un pour l'autre, vous vous retrouverez.
the fact that when the opportunity presented itself for her in Italy with her Italian man forever, she didn't want it. And so we as the viewer kind of have our answer there as to if that's where she wanted to land, that's where she would be. Clearly that's not where she wants to be. So that's not where she's going to land, you know? Now, as far as, that's the boss lady's name, Sylvie. Now, as far as Sylvie straight up slapping that man and talking about some, I want a divorce because you done stole from my mom. That's what I wish the response was from the Danish deception black lady. That's what I wish her response was. I wish she would have given that man a good old slap and been like, I know you did not just steal from my family. You still up under my mom. I want a divorce is a correct response. That's what you do in a real life situation when somebody steals from your mom. Okay? See? Even the ladies on TV don't stay. Okay? So, yeah, I don't know. That Danish deception story still don't sit right with me. And if you want to know my whole opinions on the situation, I did a whole deep dive on it right here on this channel. Selfless plug. Okay? Alright? And while I'm at it, I'm on the road to 1K. You might as well subscribe. Join the Royal Village. But also, I just find it like really disheartening. A lot of people felt like Marcella was the obvious answer when, in the way how Emily is portraying herself to be, it kind of felt like that was the for now choice. It was never given that's the final choice. It was always given that that's the for now choice to me. But I did think that her situation with Gabriel just got too messy for the time. And I understood why Emily left, but I always did feel like she was going to get back together with him. And so the fact that, like, of course, we're getting another season of Emily in Paris, so we'll see where that story lands. But I need them to never do Mindy and Alfie again, and I fear that they're about to give us Mindy and Alfie again, and I really don't want to see that mess on my screen, and I fear that I'm about to see that mess on my screen. Like, it's just, it makes no sense, like, whatsoever. Again, the actors are brilliant, so they make it make sense, but, like, for their characters, it just doesn't. And then also,